Now picture this, you're flying along, enjoying a beautiful day when suddenly...
This is Department of Homeland Security.
What happened? You flew into one of these types of special use airspace without permission. Now in this video, we'll cover everything you need to know about special use airspace, including a specific kind at the end that you should avoid at all costs. But what is special use airspace? It's airspace with special access because of what happens inside it. Unlike classes of airspace like Class B or Class C, the activity in special use airspace are not normal. Now keep that in mind because it will come up again later. For example, in areas where the military fires artillery or guided missiles, the FAA doesn't want your Cessna to get caught in a crossfire. So they create regions that are called restricted areas. You're allowed to fly in restricted areas, but only if they are not active. So how do you know if they are? By looking at a sectional or your EFB. On the sectional charts, restricted areas are a hatched blue border and the letter R followed by a number. It's always a good idea to contact the controlling agencies before entering restricted areas. You need to be 100% sure that it is not active. Now, you may also hear about something called a control firing area. Now, this is an area where military activity takes place, but it is not on the sectional. So how do you avoid it? Well, you don't. For these areas, there is a spotter on the ground that will stop any activity if they see an aircraft approaching. Now, there are also regions similar to restricted areas that you cannot fly through at all. Those are prohibited areas and are depicted with the letter P in front of the number instead of the R like in the restricted areas. You definitely want to pay attention to those. The next one is a little strange. This airspace is similar to restricted areas, but it's only on the US coastlines. It's called a warning area and it's depicted with the letter W in front of the numbers. Warning areas extend 3 nautical miles out from the coast into international waters at 12 nautical miles. This means that the FAA can't legally impose restrictions beyond 12 nautical miles like they can with restricted areas. Here's one that sounds scary but really isn't that bad. It's called an alert area. Unlike the previous ones where you might end up as target practice for the Air Force, alert areas are less dangerous. There, you'll find a lot of flight training activities. There are no restrictions. The FAA wants you to be aware of the activity taking place, so just pay attention. Now, you will find the next airspace all over the US. They're called Military Operations Areas or MOAs. MOAs are areas where the military performs air exercises. When these areas are in use, you can expect a lot of fast jets that are flying around at mostly low altitudes. Now, VFR aircraft can fly through MOAs without permission, but it's a good idea to call whoever controls the airspace before you enter. You'll find this information on the sectional chart or in your EFB. Okay, here's the last one before we cover the most important airspace you should be looking for. Some areas require extra protection, like nuclear power plants or weapon research facilities. For those, the FAA creates national security areas. Now, the FAA doesn't legally prevent you from flying into these areas, they just ask that you stay away. With that being said, entry can be restricted via a NOTAM, basically turning them into prohibited areas. This is similar to the most infamous airspace on our list. This airspace is known for countless fighter jet intercepts and also awkward conversations with ATC. Most pilots will face heavy fines and even criminal charges. It's similar to prohibited areas, but with one fundamental difference. It's temporary, meaning that you won't find it on the chart. It's the temporary flight restriction, or TFR. But why do they even exist and how do you avoid them? They keep aircraft away for security reasons. Think of when the president travels, for example. Now, the FAA cannot create a new prohibited area every time the president moves to a new location. So instead, they create a temporary flight restriction. So how can you avoid flying into one of these by accident? The easiest way is to check the map on your EFB. For example, ForeFlight is great because, well, it places the TFR directly on the map. With that being said, don't rely just on your EFB. Because TFRs are created by NOTAMs, you have to check them for your route. If you fly into a TFR by mistake, I didn't see it on ForeFlight really is not a valid excuse. Now remember how I said that special use airspace is different from airspace classes? Well, more pilots actually get in trouble because of airspace classes. To make sure that it doesn't happen to you, check out this video right here for more information. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.